Go find your thinking caps. It's time for 5 logical riddles that require all your imagination. You know, they say all geniuses are crazy, but not every crazy person is a genius. Yeah, I get that a lot. Well, it sure takes one, a genius I mean, to solve these 5 logical riddles. The main thing here is to think outside the box and use all your imagination. Let's go! Counting down from number 5. There is a superintendent and some patients at a mental hospital. Once they've tried a new medication, everyone has caught the same disease. They all wanted to bite someone once a day, and it could even be themselves. Fortunately, the effect of the drug was short-lived and lasted exactly a week. When everything got back to normal, the superintendent noticed that every patient had 2 bites. The doctor himself was bitten 100 times. Can you tell how many patients there were at the hospital? I give you 30 seconds to think it over. Time's up. The correct answer is 20. If X is the number of patients, then the total number of bites in a week is 7x, and the number of bites every patient has is 2x. So the doctor got 7x minus 2x bites, and we know that the number should equal 100. So 7x minus 2x equals 100, therefore x equals 20. Number 4. This task might seem easy, but remember that you won't find the correct answer using math here. Martin and Peter both divided 10 into x independently from each other. Martin got 5 and Peter got 2 as a result. What is x in that case? Try to think outside the box to solve this one. You've got 30 seconds for the task. The correct answer is that x equals 0, and Martin and Peter both go to school in different countries. Peter divided by 0, and we all know you can't do so. He received a 2 in the 5-point grading system, and Martin got a 5 on a 12-point grading scale for the same mistake. However, we found that solution somewhat boring, and we offer you an alternative one. If we assume that x is not a number but a line, and we divide it by 10, then on one side we get an inverted 5, and on the other side there is an inverted 2, more or less. We're sure that isn't the only possible solution. Can you think of any other ways to get the right answer? Number 3. One patient at a mental hospital was a pathological liar. He was not dangerous to others, but every day he invented a new job for himself and claimed he was a real pro at it. The doctor gave him appropriate tasks to prove his talent and promised to let him go home if he managed to cope with the task. It would mean he wasn't lying or making up fake jobs for himself anymore. Alas, he kept picking the wrong jobs and always failed the tests. One morning he said, "I am a blacksmith. I am absolutely positive that I am a blacksmith." The doctor then offered him 5 multicolored chains, each of which had 3 links, and asked him to make one continuous chain out of all of them, disconnecting and putting back together only 3 links. Much to the doctor's surprise, the patient coped with the task. The very next day, he was sent back home. How did the blacksmith manage to fulfill the task? I give you 30 seconds to think it over. Here's the solution. The blacksmith disconnected 3 links of one chain and using them connected the remaining 4 parts. Number 2. Once upon a time in a small town, there lived an old watchmaker. Everyone thought he was a bit crazy for a long time already. He lived alone and was literally obsessed with his watches. One day, he created a watch that was the most precise and magnificent one ever made. All the rich men in town offered the master huge amounts of money for the watch, but he refused everyone. One morning, he announced that he would present his masterpiece to the one who will be the first to solve his riddle, and everyone was invited to participate in the competition. By noon, a whole crowd had gathered in the square by the store. Then the watchmaker took out 9 pocket watches and said that they had to be arranged in 10 lines of 3 watches in each of the shop windows. The winner of this challenge managed to solve the riddle in 10 minutes and received the watch of his dreams. Can you beat his record? I give you 30 seconds for the task. Here's how you can arrange 9 pocket watches in 10 rows of 3 items each. If you cope with this one so quickly, you definitely deserve a reward. And number 1. The walls at the mental hospital needed repainting. The paint was non-toxic, so the quiet patients were allowed to stay inside and observe the process. As the painter was covering one of the walls, one of the patients approached him and asked him a question. "Are you holding on to that brush?" "Yes, why?" What did the patient say to the painter in return? There can be more than one possible answer here, and I give you a chance to find it yourself. Share your opinions with us in the comments section below.